Program Director, I want to start by making a commitment that next time I address, I'll speak in Kiswahili. So for today, please excuse me. This is my first day at school. So we will be, and that's why we're here, to get ourselves as South Africans to be able to speak the right language. So let me first start off by acknowledging His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Tanzania, Mr. Philip Mpango. Acknowledge my colleague, the Minister of Science and Technology, Vocational Education, Professor Motshekga. Also acknowledge the different ministers and deputy ministers present here. Acknowledge, we call him homeboy, but he's now, I have to acknowledge His Excellency, the Ambassador of the United Republic of Tanzania to South Africa, Major General Milanzi, and other distinguished guests and members of the Diplomatic Corps. But also acknowledge the High Commissioner from South Africa to the United Republic of Tanzania, acknowledge media, and also, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for receiving us. Program Director, it is indeed a singular honor for me to represent our government and the people of the Republic of South Africa in such a prestigious event. We're very humble, very grateful, and very appreciative of being invited to this function, where we will be celebrating Kiswahili as declared by UNESCO, recognized by the continent, by our region. And Program Director, yesterday I was told that Kiswahili is a coastal language, and I said, actually we have a bigger coast in South Africa, so which means it's ours also then, if it's a language of the coast. And can proudly say also, recently, my husband, who serves in the Pan-African Parliament, was very excited that in the recent days, Pan-African Parliament also acknowledged and agreed that Kiswahili should also be the language of PAP as a cardinally unifying language in the African continent. His Excellency, the South African education is quite unique. We have two main departments coordinating education, and I'm responsible for early childhood development and basic education. But as my colleague has said, we'll be also working with other departments, the Department of Higher Education, because that's where teacher development is going to happen, but also with the Department of Arts and Culture, because our view is that we don't only want Kiswahili only taught in our schools, but we also want it taught in the country. And therefore, the Departments of Arts and Culture is going to be very important for the expansion of the language outside our country. I think my colleague has explained how far we've come with this process. It's a process that we started before your COVID-19. As a country, we took a conscious and a deliberate decision that we would want to have South African kids being taught Kiswahili in schools. So the process began as early as 2018, 2019. We were in discussions with the former ambassador to South Africa from Tanzania, who's been instrumental in the process. Your late president also got into the process to support and encourage the process to continue. Just at the middle of the process, there was COVID-19, which really brought a halt to the process. But I can inform you, Program Director, that as soon as we announced in 2018, 2019 that we were going to be teaching Kiswahili in our schools, Tanzania has agreed, has offered to assist us. There was lots of excitement in the country. South Africans viewed the introduction of Kiswahili in our education system. We felt that it's a conscious decision on our part to break the tight shackles of colonial and apartheid education by introducing such a critical language of the people in the African continent. So we really felt that it was even bigger than just a language, but it's something that will help us to unite ourselves with our fellow continent people, especially Tanzania. We have a long, difficult history, and we do believe that through the teaching of Kiswahili, we will continue with that tradition, with that culture, with that brotherhood and sisterhood, and get our kids to grow up together, knowing that they are one. They've been one in the past, and they need to continue as one. As I said, we started the negotiations prior COVID, and as soon as we lifted up the restrictions on COVID, I went back to Cabinet to say I would wish to continue with the discussions that we had, and I can again confirm that the Department of our International Relations, the Cabinet, and Presidency gave us a go-ahead to make sure that indeed the agreement is signed and it is implemented. Because for us, as I say, it's more than a language to us, but it's bigger than the language in schools. It is a relationship that has been formed through blood. So I can report that our government at the level of the Presidency, the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, they have approved the agreement. There's nothing from our side that prohibits us from signing this agreement today. Minister Mukenda and I have agreed that both our departments, because as I said, it has long been in the making, that as soon as the agreement is signed, our technical teams have to meet and move at the space. They have to make up for the lost time from 2019. So they have to move fast and make sure that we are implementing, because this is an old decision, as old as 2019. So our aim as the country, when we announced that we'd like to teach Kiswahili in our schools, was to begin with strategic and systematic rollout of the implementation plan as soon as possible. We agreed that we'll address matters relating to the training and accreditation of our teachers. We believe that we have to strengthen the curriculum for the development of even of the African continent, because we're also rewriting our history of South Africa, because when you read our history books, there's nothing that looks like us. It's something else that is not us. So we've agreed that we have to rewrite and tell our story as we know it, not as it is told. So we are committed to improving the learning of Kiswahili in our schools, indigenizing it, owning it, because I said, if it's a coastal language, it belongs to us. We have a very big coast, so we have a big responsibility also to be part of this great language. So the introduction of Kiswahili in our country, we don't believe that it will end in just introducing the language. We think it's more than that. The decolonization of our education system, the recalibration and reposition of our education system to meet the demands of the changing world, but more than anything to reform and form our old relationships with Tanzania and the people of Tanzania. So we also see it as a process of people strengthening peoples to peoples processes or relationships beyond language. So as I conclude, Program Director, we want to assure the people of the United Republic of Tanzania that my team and I are living with fond and beautiful memories. There's a lot we've learned in our stay. I've been here now almost a week. I visited your schools, and must say we're very grateful to the Minister for his warm welcome, his colleagues also who received us. We also met the Minister of Education in Zanzibar, and I really live with very fond memories of what we also as South Africa see as our motherland. So thank you very much for receiving us. So I also want to thank the Ambassador who really made sure that we're here together. Thank you very much, Major General Milanzi. Thank you very much on behalf of the delegation. Thank you very much. And again, Deputy President, thank you very much for receiving us. It's an honor, and I really am overwhelmed with gratitude, appreciation, and with hope that indeed we will work well together, not only introduce Kiswahili, but strengthen our peoples-to-peoples relationships, especially among our young people, amongst our children, in all areas where we've agreed to cooperate. Thank you very much, Program Director.